What's up, people? Sharky back once again with yet another G.I. Joe Classified Series review. And today we're looking at the Cobra Night Viper, and I'm pretty excited for this one, so let's get it poppin'. So first things first, quick look at what's inside here. There's a classified logo, 187 in the line. Bit of side panel art action for you, which I don't mind actually. It looks a bit off here, but yeah, it's not too bad. And then we've got a look at the figure on the back, the unmasked head, bit of backpack action. Made in China, and the code is here for you, so if you would like to take a moment to pause, reflect, and snapshot that. And we'll do our skill sets now, straight off the bat. Why is my camera not focusing? There we go. It's still a bit blurry. Interesting. Let me just try and rectify that. One moment, please. That should be better. Let's have a look here. There we go. Okay, so first things first. It's still a bit blurry. I don't know why. Why is that? There we go. All right. Let's carry on, shall we? He's marksman, level 1. Next one is long range weapons, level 1 also. Here we have night combat. He is level 3, which of course makes total sense. Don't know why they wouldn't make him level 4, but whatever. And the last one is stealth, and he's a level 1. So that's the box. Let's get into the actual figure and accessories. All right, so straight off the bat, let's see how he stands out of the packet without any manipulation. Whooshka, no issues whatsoever, and I'm going to give you a little close-up of the figure. Now, of course, if you're new to the channel, I always do the accessories first, and this is also a good time for me to remind you that if you haven't seen my content before, well, go back and you'll see that I recently reviewed this guy, and I recently reviewed Hit and Run. They're on the channel. And if you like what you see, hit the subscribe button. And current subscribers, welcome back. All right, so accessories. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them technically. So we'll start with the knives. And I do believe this is a new one. I don't ever recall seeing it. The handle is quite small, but it does look okay. Again, like we saw with Hit and Run, just all in solid black. And the next knife, which is more of a straight edged blade as opposed to a serrated one. Again, the handle is quite small, but it does look somewhat similar to the other one. Now, the original Night Viper didn't come with any more than one weapon. He came with his rifle that attached to his leg. I think it was a 2013 Retaliation version, was it? I think it was the Retaliation version. I own it. It's in my cabinet over there, but I'm not picking it up because the legs are loose as beep. So yeah, we won't go there today, but in terms of comparisons. But that one actually came with a machete, 4 guns, a satchel, and I think it was a flashlight. So yeah, that one was armed to the gills. And speaking of arms, here's his sidearm. Pretty sure this is new as well. It doesn't ring a bell, and it's not bad. I like it. Weapons experts, please tell me if it is a replica of anything. There is of course a port for a blast effect. It's a nice sidearm. I dig it. Next up we have the backpack. We'll have a look at the cushioned side of it. Again, this is all new. There is not much in terms of, you know, having any functionality. The antennas don't move at all. So it's just a comms backpack really. Probably a few pouches for some ammo and whatnot while he's out deep behind enemy lines. It's nice enough. Again, all in solid black, which does suit the figure. Now, the helmet, I'll give you a close-up look at that. It's pretty cool, I will say that much. Some nice detailing on the sides. Visor down, clips should just clip over, I guess. Well, that's a bit, that does not want to go all the way down, look. Come on. That's as far as it goes? Surely not. Yep, okay, I have to clip it. Okay, that's just come off. No, it hasn't, it's on. Just need to be a bit firmer with it. Some nice detailing there. Paint apps on the lens of this part. Now, speaking of this part, you detach it like so to reveal like an infrared optic of some variety, I guess for night vision. And that just clips back on. So that's included as one of the 7 accessories. I kid you not. So that's the helmet. And lastly, we have his rifle, which does appear to be a bit warped, if I can get it to focus, in the stock area, but at least the barrel's straight, but that's definitely warped a bit there. This is a pliable strap, which is good. It's not rigid in terms of it getting in the way, so that's pretty cool, considering that he can't affix the gun to his leg like the original figure. Removable magazine, yep, no problems there. It doesn't feel like that's going to go in very far and stay in, but it is staying in. Port for blast effects. The scope, if you look at the scope though, it's not straight in terms of it looking over the barrel. It's kind of bent. It should be like probably sitting up about there. Now, I'm no weapons expert, but I don't think you want your optic looking down like this. So yeah, I guess maybe with a bit of heat that could be, I don't know if it's going to stay up. It might. You might have to like lodge something under there and sit it under there for a while just to keep it, you know, but yeah, I guess over time it's probably just going to warp back down. It's nice enough, but like it's a bit bendy. Not gummy per se, but like if you look at that, well, that kind of is, isn't it? But it's not bad. Anyway, that's the accessories. So let's get into the figure. A little fun fact about the OG Night Viper. The figure was originally designed in 1987 with the idea of him being an adversary for low light, but of course he didn't come out for a couple of years after that. Anyway, onto the figure itself. Alright, so starting from the top, we'll have a look at the masked head, and it appears that the details are where they need to be, and there's no paint rub or problems there. It's a basic balaclava head. I don't think it's the same as a Saw Viper. Hang on, camera focus please, don't be a pain in the ass. Alright, so articulation wise, arms are moving. Come on mate, there we go. No problems at all. The torso, I just thought it felt a bit loose, but we'll get to that in a second. Up here, double pinless elbows, no problems. There's a nice look at the bullet belt. That is a wrap on the arm, you can take that off. The bicep swivel, no issues there with it. I'll show you this tampo here, which is pretty cool. I don't remember if that's the same as the original, or even if the Retaliation one has one. I'll have to check that. But yeah, arms are moving good. Butterflies, a little stiff, very. They're there, but they just might be a bit stiff. But we'll try the other one out, shall we? There's not a lot of movement there, a lot of give. As I said, it could just be a bit stiff. Then we've got another tampo up here. I feel like the original did have this. It's pretty cool. Bicep swivel, no issue. Come on, elbow. Clunky thing, there we go. Double pinless, no problems there. Wrist swivel is good there. This camera is being a pain. Is there any articulation in the hands? Let's find out. There appears to be. Yep, not a great deal, but there is some there. Back to the head for a minute. He can look that far down, and wow, his head cannot go up. Nope, it does not go up at all. Hang on. No. So yeah, very limited there. Got the Cobra insignia here. What appears to be another infrared device here. Removable bandolier here. Sheath for the knife. I might as well just go ahead and chuck one of those in there now, shall we? Let's just go with that one. Ab crunch. You can go all the way down there. And about that far back. About that far on the side. There you go. Head, no head tilt, really. Not much of one. Yeah, that's not good. Close up of the belt, which is pretty bare bones. The shiny plastic of the armor here does look good. It might be a bit glary on the camera, but it does look good on the figure itself. Pouch, nothing really going on the back. Backpack hole. It's a nice looking figure in hand, I will say that, even with limited articulation in the head. Just want to see. Okay, over here appears to be, they look like rockets, but I don't know if they are. Maybe. Let me know. Holster over here. Fun fact about this guy that also, his working name was Night Stalker back in 1987. Now, I can't remember when serial killer Richard Ramirez did all his dirty deeds, but I have a feeling that might have impacted the change in name. Anyway, legs go all the way up. No problems there. Drop downs are there, but they're not, they're quite limited. In terms of legs, he can almost kick his own ass. They are moving nicely though, we'll add that much, especially that leg. No problems there. I saw a couple people question upon the reveal of this that these are the the his tank driver legs, but I'll show you him. They are different. Oh my gosh, my his tank Viper, who's just been sitting in the his tank, is really loose. Wow, I just noticed that. Look at this. Yeah. Great. Great HasLab right there. Oh, wow. Anyway, we're not here for him, but I'll just give you a side-by-side comparison so you can see that they are different. There you go. Similar, but not the same. And another interesting fact about the design of this figure is that the legs, the padding on the legs was put in place so that when he was out in the field, especially in thick brush, his legs would be well protected in terms of moving freely without any complaint. So back to the legs. Another holster here. Is there a boot cut? I don't believe there is. No, there's no boot cut. You've got, there is an ankle pivot there. And the other one there. A little clunky, but not too bad. his feet can go down about so far and up so far. So after a little bit of manipulation, we'll just see again how he stands. He stands no problem at all. But let's get him kitted up. So there he is. He can hold his weapon without any issue. Took a little bit to get this hand on there because the barrel is quite thick, but it's not a problem at all. The stock is sitting flush behind his arm. If you saw my hit and run review, you would know that he could not hold his weapon. So this is actually what you want. There's a close-up with the visor up and visor down. Looks pretty sick when it's on. Might as well just take this off, have another look. There it is without that optic. And that red does, you know, give it a little bit of a pop, which is cool. Here's the side profile for you. And again, visor up. I went ahead and put the sidearm in and the click and the knives, so you can see those there too as well. The one in the leg, obviously the one up in the chest that I put there before. There's a look from the back. And let's see how he stands with all his gear on. I'd say no problem. Yep, whooshka, easy peasy. All right, before I do some comparisons, I just want to see how he looks with a couple of other weapons from other companies. All right, so here he is with a Gridiron M4, and I've chosen this merely because I thought the grey would contrast nicely with all the black and green, and I think it works really well. In terms of getting him into a really decent firing pose, it's a little difficult with all the bandolier on and the backpack. I had the rifle slung behind, so I took all that off, so you can also see what he looks like without that stuff. And I think that's a good fit. But let's throw something else in his hands. And here I have him with this Barrett from Valoverse Action Force, which I chose obviously because he is a long range expert. And the dull OD sort of green, it's not really OD green, but there might be another name for it, I thought might look, you know, not too bad with his greens, and it doesn't pair up badly or anything, but just to give you an idea of how he looks with a bigger rifle. So there is that. All right, comparison time. So first up, I have him with his fellow class of 89, Alley Viper and Frag Viper. And I'm gonna say it looks pretty cool to have these three together. I think we're only missing, is it the Heat Viper? I'm pretty sure it's the Heat Viper. So yeah, he blends in nicely with them. And the fact that this Alley Viper stood up the first time putting him there is almost a miracle. That's those guys. Let's switch them out for a couple of others. So got him here with a couple of Monster Force figures. The Phantom Core, which is still one of my favorite figures of late, and the Nocturnal Ops Delta Trooper, something like that. And I picked all of them because they have a visor or an optic. So he fits in well, like even though, you know, these are more muted in tone, I feel like, you know, it does work. And you'll see here also that I've got the slung rifle over his shoulder and behind the backpack, and it sits snug, like it doesn't get in the way at all. He stands it, no problems with it on. So there you go. That's that. All right, final thoughts. So let's do the pros first. Well, for starters, everything works well with the figure. You know, he doesn't have an issue holding his weapons. Storage-wise, he can hold everything, which is great. Nothing has to go in an accessory bag. There is, like, the figure looks great in terms of, you know, the paints and whatnot. The yellow on the arms pops, as I mentioned in the review. The silver accents on the visor all work. Even the gold belt buckle, you know, fleshes it out a little bit. So fantastic effort overall. As I showed you, the figure stands well and can be posed easily, no problem. So yeah, digging it. Really nice figure. There are a couple of cons. First up, limited head articulation. For someone who is going to be looking through a long rifle that he is supplied with that has a scope, and on the box it says, you know, he's a marksman, then, well, I kind of feel like he should be able to, you know, do that. But he can't because of the range of movement of the head. The backpack, it's a bit boring. You know, there's no bells and whistles to it. And, you know, I feel like, considering with the previous retaliation figure that I mentioned that came with so much, I feel like they could have maybe just given him maybe 1 or 2 more accessories. Maybe an SMG that could be fitted to the backpack, or a machete. You know, he's already got 2 knives, but, you know, we got a machete with hit and run, so that's someone who's climbing mountains, whereas this guy's out in the field. So yeah, something like that. Maybe even a wind gauge, considering he's a marksman once again and operating at night. You know, something along those lines I think would have really sort of given it a bit more pizzazz, if you will. But, you know, that's a small gripe. Not to say that I don't like the accessories that come with it, because I do. Even, you know, if I feel like that shouldn't have a bent scope. That's pretty much it, guys. I like the figure. I think out of the 3 figures I've reviewed this week, this is the standout for me. Now, you may beg to differ, but I haven't had any defective parts. Everything works, unlike this wretched thing. And yeah, I don't have any real complaints. I think they knocked this one out of the park. It's true to the original figure, but, you know, with a couple of nice updates. You know, some people will be like, oh, but he can't hold his weapon on his leg. I mean, do you want him holding that weapon on his leg? I'd say the sling is a much better option. But anyway, folks, thank you for watching. If you made it this far and you're new to the channel, I hope you enjoyed the video. Feel free to hit the subscribe button, like button, hit the hype button. And yeah, that's about it, really. All right, until next time, have fun with your toys, take care of yourselves, and make sure, most importantly, you say hi to your dogs for me. Take it easy.